him about the scene, and as protocol, we handed the scene over to him for further investigation and processing. Warrant Officer Pakula requested me to cordon off the scene and also instructed me to call LCRC. Sergeant Doe assisted me with the tape to cordon the area off, and he also called LCRC office. While busy at the scene, more police officers from different units started arriving at the scene. Amongst them, I can mention the following. Warrant Officer Rikoto from Crime Intelligence, he arrived and started asking if we have any authority or any inquiry file registered that gave us any permission to effect the arrest. He was causing some obstruction and distracting us from doing our work freely. He specifically said that Major General Feroz Khan from Crime Intelligence was coming to the scene. I'm not sure what he wanted us to do with that information. So we ignored him and proceeded with our duties, but there was a lot of police members, security officers, and civilian members at the scene, which made it difficult for us to work. Colonel Muloi from Crime Intelligence also arrived at the scene, and she was more than happy about the arrest and even complimented of the good work that we have done. Lieutenant Colonel Malulega from DPCI National Office arrived together with Warrant Officer Masoma, also from DPCI, as they were summoned by Warrant Officer Pakula to come and assist us with the scene. Sergeant Pakula and Sergeant Sape came together from Provincial K9 Unit as part of our team. Major General Khan arrived immediately after Warrant Pakula, and I think Commissioner said I was supposed to say after Sergeant Pakula and Sergeant Sape.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And the situation got out of hand. Upon his arrival, Major General Khan went straight to the warehouse and met with the Scania management. And after that, he came back to us and ordered us to stop with our operation. He asked who was the driver of the buggy, which was loaded with the black bags, and I answered it was me. He then instructed me to go inside the buggy. Then a big argument ensued between Major General Khan and Chief Mashaba, whereby Major General Khan ended up disarming Chief Mashaba of his service firearm and stopped the guys from dog unit from searching the warehouse. I was made to sit in the car while I was photographed as if I'm a suspect. Members of DPCI from Jamestown and Johannesburg arrived at the scene with Major General Kadwa, the provincial head of DPCI. There seems to have been a briefing between Major General Khan, Brigadier Sokhobela, Lieutenant Colonel Mabaso, and Captain Sibula, wherein after that, Warrant Officer Pakula, Chief Mashaba, Mr. Nku, and myself were arrested and put at the back of poisoned SAPS buggy, which was driven by Sergeant Ndo and Constable Mukwambiri. We were kept at the back of the buggy for some time. At some stage, we were then taken from the back of the buggy to observe the counting of the drugs. To our surprise, we find that already 10 bags were already opened. Brigadier Sokhobela, Captain Dale, Captain Sibula, the arresting officer, are the ones who were in charge of the counting the drugs. Each bag had 35 small bricks, and a total of 350 small bricks were counted from the 10 bags. We were then taken back to the back of the buggy and driven to Poison's station for detention before the counting was completed.
Before you moved to your arrest, you had deposed to another statement, and that statement will appear on page 3. I want you to go to 373 of the exhibit bundle. Your statement starts at page 370, but I just want you to look at 373. Now, Now, on that statement, I want you to focus only on paragraph 23, 24, 25, where you speak of your encounter with General Khan. Can you just read that into the record?
As a result of General Khan's unprofessional behavior and obstruction, the driver,
No, sorry, just that paragraph up, ne?
which one?
Paragraph 23.
While busy at the scene, a certain Indian male who was later known to me as General Khan of Crime Intelligence arrived with his crew, and all hell broke loose. As he started giving instruction, he asked who was the driver of the black Nissan buggy, and I told him I was the driver. He then ordered me to go sit in the buggy. I did as instructed, and General Khan, started calling us tsotsi police and said he is going to teach us a lesson. I was not even allowed to move and talk to my colleagues, not even to go to the toilet. I was escorted. Different police officers among Colonel Mabaso came to interview me and explained to him how I got information and came to the scene. I was also interviewed by Brigadier Sekhobela, and later a certain gentleman who introduced himself as Captain Sibula placed me under arrest. Photos were taken of me while seated in the car. As a result of General Khan's unprofessional behavior and obstruction, the driver, Brighton Mtembu, who was already placed under arrest, was released. The lady called Jolene and Cornelius were no longer cooperative. Information on who the receiver was no longer pursued, as we were now considered as suspect.
All right. When you say General Khan told you to sit inside the car, how long did you have to sit inside the car? Rough estimate.
I was made to sit in the car from, I'm not too sure as to what time did the general arrive, but I was made to sit inside the car for almost 2 hours.
And how was it in the car? What was the situation?
The situation was uncomfortable. I was sitting there, the sun, it was hot and everything.
And you also mentioned in that paragraph that you had to be escorted. What does that mean?
At some stage, commissioners, I wanted to go to the toilet, or yes, to the loo. So one gentleman who arrived with General Khan escorted me to the loo, back to the park.
Did you feel that you couldn't leave at your own volition or accord?
I beg your commissioners?
Did you have a sense that you could not just leave unattended?
That's correct, commissioners, because that's correct.
All right, let's then go back to your statement. I want us to go to paragraph 23. So we're on page 10. So you go back to your statement file, and then you talk about our arrest and detention. That's the topic there.
So must I start at paragraph 23?
Yes, start with we were detained.
We were detained at Boysen Station for a weekend until Monday, the 12th July 2021, when we appeared at court. While at Boysen Station holding cell, we were told, allegedly per General Khan instruction, Kado, that we were not allowed to have visitors, water, and food. I'm referring to the food that were coming from outside.
Or not the prison food, but from the visitors?
Yeah, from the visitors.
Are you allowed to have food while you're in prison from the outside?
No.
Generally?
No.
Okay.
We were told that on Monday at court, the control prosecutor was refusing to place the matter on the roll until General Kadwa came to the court and insisted that the matter be placed on roll. The case was postponed for Tuesday, the 13th of July 2021. We were transferred to Johannesburg Correctional Services, which is called Sun City Prison. We were then remanded in custody for another 7 days for a formal bail application. During the bail trial, Captain Sivula testified that we were arrested for allegedly stealing 700 kg of cocaine. The presiding magistrate asked him if the exhibit were weighed and what method of weighing was used, of which Captain Sebola could not answer. The magistrate also suggested to him that Captain Sebola and his team rushed to arrest us prematurely. Again, he could not answer. We were ultimately granted bail on the 21st of July, having spent almost 2 weeks or 13 days in custody. I was then suspended in terms of Section 43(2) of the SAPS Act 68 of 1995 from the 9th July until the 21st. This type of suspension is applied when a member is arrested and incarcerated. It is a suspension without salary or allowances. My suspension was then uplifted after I was granted bail, and I resumed my duties on the 22nd July 2021. I was then suspended again for a period of 6 days in terms of Regulation 10(3) of SAPS Disciplinary Regulation of 2016 from the 30th September until the 20th November. I was charged with the following 3 charges departmental. 3.1, Regulation 54F, corruption. Regulation number 3.2, Regulation 54G, dealing in drugs. 3.3, Regulation 54, defeating the ends of justice. The chairperson of the disciplinary hearing, Brigadier Nevahulu, found me not guilty on all charges on the 7th February 2022. Attach. Then can I proceed?
Do you want to go to that ruling or you want to proceed?
I don't know. You direct me.
Okay, let's proceed. If you want to come back to it, we can. Let's proceed to the next paragraph. And that will be 31 under the topic Poisons CAS 25210 of 2021.
Poisons CAS 252 of 10/2021, defeating the ends of justice and obstruction of police officers from executing their lawful duties. This case emanates from our arrest and detention at Aeroton as overseen by General Khan, Major General Kadwa, Brigadier Schobela, and Captain Sebola. After a thorough and proper consultation with our legal representative, we then decided to open a case of defeating the ends of justice against all members mentioned above. The case was transferred to IP National Office for investigation. After a lengthy, slow investigation by IP, the matter was taken to the Deputy Public Prosecutor's Office in South Gauteng for decision. Advocate Chauke's office decided not to prosecute the suspect in this matter, and amounts reason given were that this matter was just a misunderstanding between different law enforcers, which was contrary to the reason or motivation given by the same office of Advocate Chauke when we presented our representation for our case to be withdrawn. IP then recommended that all members who were involved in our arrest must be charged departmentally. General Khan was charged separately and members of the PCI were not charged. The departmental hearing of Major General Khan was presided by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhonazi, the KwaZulu-Natal provincial officer. I testified during those proceedings dealing with the event aforementioned. Major General Khan was found not guilty for defeating the ends of justice and other charges. What I found concerning is that while the commissioner was still deciding on the verdict of Major General Khan's matter, DPCI issued a report that cleared all their members. At the same time, there were media reports that
I think when you go to paragraph 34, it's a repeat. So what you can do is that if you go to, at the same time, you see on the paragraph, then you can pick it up from there.
Perhaps what we should do, Advocate Msikiti, we must just scratch out the first paragraph 34 on page 12, and he reads the complete paragraph 34 on page 13.
That seems to be practical. Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo.
So, Warrant Officer, just go to page 13 and read that paragraph in its entirety.
From the beginning.
Yes.
34 years.
IP then recommended that all members who were involved in our arrest must be charged departmentally. General Khan was charged separately and members of DPCI were not charged. The departmental hearing of Major General Khan was presided by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, a KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner. I testified during those proceedings dealing with the events aforementioned. Major General Khan was found not guilty for defeating the ends of justice and other charges. What I found concerning is that while the Commissioner was still deciding on the verdict of Major General Khan's matter, DPCI issued a report that cleared all their members. At the same time, there were media reports that the witnesses of Major General Khan's hearing, which is us, were facing an imminent re-enrollment of their case. Our case was provisionally withdrawn on the 12th November 2022. I know and understand the contents of this statement. I regard the contents of this statement to be binding on my conscience. I have no objection in taking the prescribed oath. That's the end of my statement.
Thank you, Warrant Officer Mkhani. Can I just ask you, when you spoke about your